Oh, is this battery like that?
But what you Hey, here we go.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the vlog. I tried to hold out a little bit and wait for these clouds to clear, but it wanted to wait a little bit longer than I wanted to wait to make this content. Today, I decided to jump on my 05 R6 and we'll ride this a little bit as we make some content. So the biggest complaint I've been hearing about is everybody's been talking about the horsepower. It's a 900cc just about. Why does it only have 117 horsepower? And yeah, it could probably make way more horsepower, but why though?
Take a look at what this new generation Yamaha is going to create in terms of power to the tire on a stock engine, because again, it is the exact same engine that's in the 2024 MT-09.
So far, now that the top end restrictions are gone, we're sitting at a peak horsepower of 111 and 65 foot-pounds of torque.
You can see there on the screen that Run 29, the red line there, makes the exact same power, but it makes nearly 70 pound-feet of torque. It's making 50% more torque at peak than the R6 ever could have dreamed of doing, and it's doing it in massively less RPMs. With a stock engine in place and an exhaust and tuning, you are talking about the exact same horsepower, but 50% more torque? I truly don't understand what everybody's all upset about. The bike is going to be better in every single way.
This was about the lightest R6 that they came out with. The 04 exactly was the lightest R6. They got heavier over time. Then the most powerful R6 was 2008, 2009. And they got weaker over time. The 08, 09 R6, and I'll show you, I'm just not talking out my ass. The R6 never suffered in popularity. Anybody that raced them, they modified them, they tuned them, they found power. So most of the power and the numbers of the R9, you look at stuff on paper and you'll think a certain way about it. But the fun factor of this motorcycle, that's where it's at.
There goes that wonderful Bay Area weather that I was looking for a little bit earlier. Just to let you know, I didn't get the content that I wanted to get because this is what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see all that gray cloudy. We jump back and forth between some of the content at the dealership, and we could jump back and forth between this just to finish up the points that I wanted to get that I didn't get while I was riding the R6. Roman?
Yes. Lexus?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Very well. Go ahead. Finish. Go.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Help yourself to some coffee and water. I guess they're just setting the bike up right now, so give me a couple of minutes.
No problem. So right here is King of the Hill. Notice the seats. Very high-end motorcycle these Ducatis are. The cloth, the material that they use for these seats. Brembo Stylema calipers. And what we're looking at a price tag on this one. This is your S. This Brembo radial is the same one on the R9. This is the old style Brembo that used to come on the R1s, the R6s. Once I got the RCS, I put this joint on this R3, which is way more master cylinder than that little thing needed, but it actually does work. That's one thing I want to point out. Those Ducatis in the dealership, this S, this Brembo radial, is the same one on the R9.
That's part of the thing that you're gonna have to understand. They give you a great platform. If you decide to change and modify, that's on you. If you're in it for fun, the R9 is where it's at. If you're in it for horsepower numbers and everything like that, you might find faults for it. I mean, it is what it is. You aren't the target market then. Oh, they blocked off a whole lane on this damn thing. Oh, so the ergonomics of the bike. I've had a lot of questions about that. The R9 is a mix between like the R6. Hold on, I gotta get another wheelie here. I sidetracked again.
The actual rider triangle, putting your foot up on the pegs, is not too high. This is the lowest portion of the adjustable pegs, so it's not terribly high, but it is up there. Nah, the R1's pretty high. If you've ridden the R1, then this is comfortable. It's just a hair more aggressive than the R6. If you've ridden a Fireblade like this one per se, the rider triangle with your hips to your knees is like really close, so it's not terrible. And you can see from this angle the seat ramp up towards the tank. This one has a deeper valley.
It almost feels like it has a short enough length from seat to handlebars as an R3. Me being a lifelong Yamaha enthusiast, I mean, my first Yamaha was an XT, then my second was an 03 R6. Then I felt like, hey, was I missing out on something? And I bought an 02 R6. The same time as when I bought the 06 R6, I had all three 600s at the same time. I really do like super sports. I went ahead and got my all-time favorite motorcycle, favorite body design, the 14BE. That R1 was the one for me. But that was the ultimate bike for me, in my eyes. I've never really been let down by anything that Yamaha has put out. Now, of course, the 14BE was not a popular motorcycle in terms of its weight and its horsepower. Does that ring a bell? The 14BE is like 455 whopping pounds wet. And it only had about 184 horsepower. But if you put it on a dyno, it only put down 153 or 52 horsepower. That's not that incredible when you think of the likes of the Gixxers and the Panigales and stuff like that. But in that time frame in World Superbike, did Yamaha get a championship with that bike?
Haga leads the way. Aslam's still there. Haga 139.5. Spies a 139.1. It's Spies or Haga, the two championship contenders by the looks of things.
He's got to make a move soon, otherwise it's not going to happen.
Here we go then. Haga. Oh, he does do exactly that. Into the last turn. An absolutely phenomenal performance by Texas's Ben Spies to win at Assen.
The answer is yes. Yes, they got a championship with it. All motorcycles can be tuned, guys. You're not that limited to what the bike is and what it's supposed to be or what it's gonna be.
So it's predicted to be in March.
Yeah.
But it's always better to under-promise.
Yeah.
And I'll make a new printout for you because I've got a printout, but I'll print it out again.
Okay, no problem.
Shred this, and I'll bring you copy.
Good deal. Thank you. First, I was looking at the European offering, the XSR GP.
Yes, yeah.
And I was just hoping that we got that, but we didn't. And then I figured when we didn't get that, I figured we were going to get this. So I've been on standby.
So this is what I'm getting at with the R9. If you're a fan of super sports, it's got to evolve. There's so much conversation about people hating it or people loving it. I like that polarizing situation with that motorcycle. The R9 is really going to be that thing. It does appear to be R1-ish in size, but I got on the bike. I'm a 6 foot tall guy. R9 feels way more open than what this bike is. One thing I think I may do day one with the R9 is gonna be the clip-ons and some other little stuff. I'm not gonna be the channel that makes all the technical info. You can go to Yami Noob for that.
A big feature of the R9 is its lightweight aluminum Delta Box frame, which supposedly is the lightest frame ever offered in a Yamaha Supersport bike, contributing to its overall total weight of 430 pounds. Now, one thing that we really don't know yet, and until we actually see the bike in person, I don't really know if the frame is actually different from the Yamaha MT-09. I imagine it's slightly different, and that would make it pretty cool. The frame is designed for both street agility and track precision.
You can go to all those other type of dudes. I'm gonna be the guy that really just has fun with the bike, makes some modifications, and does track days with it.
So in summation, a lot of guys are taking some of this a little too seriously, and they're spreading wrong information. These bikes are for fun, super sports that is, even the lightweights, you could have a blast on them, because guess what? Everybody's so worried about the R9, they did just release a 3rd gen R3. It's really not all about power, because see, I could even get in trouble with low horsepower. You want to see what happened with this? R9 has slide angle control, it has cornering ABS, and it has a better traction control. This is the first super sport that we're going to get with the 6-axis IMU. So if the R3 had that, I wouldn't have bust my ass, but the R9 is going to have that. And on the last track day, I got terrified riding this R1. This thing has over 80 pound-feet of torque at the wheel. I was blowing the tread out, and I could just feel the same thing that happened here. I could feel that happening on this bike, and I was able to control it a little bit better. But this bike, of course, is an animal. And again, this is a bike that was great, but it wasn't popular because its weight was high, its horsepower was low in comparison to the other bikes in the market. But this is just one of the most classic looks I've ever seen, and I liked the 0405. I've had like multiples of them. This was just a continuation in that. And that cross-plane sound, trust me. Matter of fact, I'll fire it up right now. This cross-plane sounds like no other. I'm all about sounds, unique sounds. I'm just like that. I've heard these inline Screamer 4s for years. I love them. I'm about them. They do sound good, but I like sounds like that. The triple. Have y'all heard what the race bike, the R9, sounds like with exhaust on it? That's something that I feel will match this lineup right smack in the middle. It's not a screamer. It's not a big brapper. It's a really different thing. I'm into unique sounds. So get your content from whoever you want to get it from, but I want to tell y'all the truth about everything. And I want to give you the real shared experiences about everything. You want somebody that says it's like an MT-09 with fairings? Go to guys like this. You want people to tell you that the bike is or isn't equipped with the right stuff? Go to other guys. But here on this channel, what I'm going to do is just give you everything right as I experience it and my thoughts right then and there. But until that bike comes in, which will be March, we won't be able to do that. But those are just my thoughts about some of the info that's going back and forth. And just, you guys are going to be able to enjoy it right along with me. So if yours doesn't come for a while, make sure you come to this channel and check it out, because when I have it, I'm going to enjoy it and share it with y'all. And that's going to be about it. We're going to close this vlog out. I'm going to give y'all two and we out.